A warning tonight for residential school survivors. You have just a few weeks left to apply for compensation for the abuse you suffered as children, and you should be aware of your rights when hiring a lawyer. Here's Kathleen Martins from APTN Investigates.
You'll hear this date over and over again, and I hope you share it with anyone in your community, because it is very important that September 19, 2012 is the last date for applications to this process to be handed in.
Bureaucrats are reassuring residential school survivors about the health of the independent assessment process. That's the program that compensates survivors for abuse they suffered as children. The deadline to apply is September 19th, 3 weeks from now.
One of the things that many of you have heard about in recent months is an issue with the integrity of the IAP.
Rinaldi is referring to the investigation involving Calgary lawyer David Blott. He was kicked out of the IAP for taking advantage of vulnerable clients. Rinaldi says officials moved quickly to get the claims of thousands of Blott clients back on track.
It's very unfortunate that it's happened. I mean, 99.9% of the lawyers in the country are doing the work. We'll give them good representation.
Winnipeg lawyer Bill Percy has represented hundreds of survivors from across Manitoba. He says he knows some lawyers have gotten into trouble. Along with Blott, Winnipeg lawyer Howard Tenenhouse was disciplined for overcharging clients. He was eventually disbarred by the Law Society of Manitoba. This prompted the IAP to warn the approximately 200 lawyers working in the system to treat survivors fairly. Percy says he doesn't charge more than 15%. That's how much the Canadian government pays lawyers to handle IAP claims.
We as a firm early on, for the reasons I've already talking about, it was the right thing to do. It's really a justice issue, not primarily a money-making issue.
Lawyers can ask clients for more money, as much as another 15%, but clients don't have to agree, nor do they need to pay anyone to fill out their application forms.
So if you hear of anyone who says that their claim was filled out by someone who wanted to be paid, please contact us at the Secretariat, because we want to deal with those questionable form-filling organizations.
Rinaldi says the Assembly of First Nations has now been asked to fill out survivors' forms for free. But anyone with questions should contact the IAP call center in Ottawa.
If there is any claimant who thinks that they have an application in and hasn't heard anything, to please call us and we will confirm whether their application is in.
Rinaldi says if people aren't able to call on their own, they should ask their tribal council to do it for them. The IAP started in 2007 with a mandate to run for 5 years. It's the only program left that pays compensation for abuse inflicted at church-run schools across Canada. Kathleen Martins for APTN National News, Winnipeg, Manitoba.
As Kathleen mentioned, for those who endured the worst of the abuse at residential schools, your time for making a claim is running short. The Assembly of First Nations has launched a helpline for those hoping to file a claim with the Independent Assessment Process, or IAP. The deadline for applications is September 19th. If you are a survivor and you need help with the IAP form, the Assembly of First Nations says they can help. You can call them at 1-866-869-6789, and that is a toll-free number. Now, a follow-up to a story we brought you last night. RCMP officers with Project CARE in Alberta say tips from the public are now rolling in.